And welcome in to beautiful Oakland Hills, the South Course right behind me. They're a little walking tour right now of all the redesigns by Gil Hance. And this is a special day because, we know how historic of a course Oakland Hills South is, and it's been closed for a while now. As Gil Hance, the legendary course designer, did the real course in Brazil for the Olympics and many other courses around this country that are very, very special. And he came in here with the idea to get majors back here, U.S. Open hopefully, and Oakland Hills. So special day here to kind of see what is happening. The members have been going on some special tours, and the ones that I've talked to have been blown away. A lot of trees are gone, over hundreds of trees are gone. And I believe, you know what? I think I got my man Tony Paul ready. TP, you are there.
What's up, man? Should I do it like that? Does that help? There we go.
I like it. You're in front of the historic clubhouse. Now we're going to hear from Mike Tirico in just a minute. But Tony, you've been covering golf for a long time. We know that obviously you have a press conference and you want to get people excited. It's part of the business. But today, and we both have been to many press conferences, I just think this is one of those things, and we'll see how it all finishes up, that really is special. That really is what they're telling us, that this course is going to look incredible. It's going to fit to the modern pros games. Obviously, the members are going to love it too. From what you can tell so far, what Gil Hance, the redesigner and legendary course designer in his own right, has said, and Steve Brady, the pro, and obviously hearing from Mike Tirico, who's covered a ton of majors as well. What are your initial thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think that's the important thing, is that the overall theme is that they're not changing the course incredibly. They're bringing it back to its original design, which means taking out some trees and making some bigger bunkers, and the ability to tighten the fairways or expand the fairways, the ability to grow the rough or cut the rough down, which Gil Hance said that the goal was to make it challenging for the tour pros, and it will be with the rough and the fairways and the bunkers, and the greens are always tough here, but also playable for the members, which it's been a very difficult course for the members for many, many years, and now it'll play a little bit more fair for them. So it's kind of, he called it the sweet spot, finding the sweet spot between making it playable for the members, making it tougher for the pros, and I think that they're on their way to doing that. The course can play up to 7,600, even more yards than that, which is important in this day and age where distance is everything on the PGA Tour and in major championship golf. And so, get Larry out of here.
I think you just got a photo pop from Larry Leach, the legend.
Cameo appearance. Yeah, I think it's going to be impressive. And, a lot of people ask why they took the trees out, and the trees weren't really a part of the original design. I mean, those are things you kind of fill in over the years, and they did that. You take the trees out, which weren't really overly in play for the pros much, and so now you give them more challenges with the rough and the bigger bunkers. And with the members, you have them looking a lot less for balls after hitting the ball in the trees. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, Tony, I think that the other part of this too is we know, for the golfers watching right now that have been here and know about this course, whether they played it or not, Donald Ross, one of the great course designers ever. This is an historic place. Ben Hogan played here, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer. Ben Hogan turned to the monster. What do you think when you hear from a guy like Gil Hance, who, as Steve Brady put, has no ego, like Tirico mentioned it as well, he's here to make this course the best it can be. To have a foot in history, but also move forward into the modern era for the Bryson DeChambeaus that are eating protein shakes with something in them and hitting 350. What do you think about being able to root yourself in the history, but also have a foot forward as well?
Well, I think that's important because, I think Gil Hance said, that this course is not broken. This is still one of the crown jewels in the state of Michigan and in the Midwest. But you have to keep up with the game, and you have to have the more distance. You have to have the rough. You have to have the fairways, the bunkers, the greens, and you just have to make it more challenging from a different perspective. And so, I think he doesn't have much of an ego. He is here to basically, as a caretaker to one of Donald Ross's greatest courses ever, and we're going to get a look at it here in a bit, and we're gonna see what's new. But from the looks of it, it's pretty impressive. The cool thing too is that with all the trees coming down, over 130 of them, you're going to be able to see the clubhouse from basically anywhere on the golf course, and I think that's really neat. Or many places on the golf course, it's really neat. This is a very stately clubhouse. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but
you got some good views there.
Pretty good here. And there's Dan sitting over there. But it's
hello.
it's a pretty impressive clubhouse. So that's kind of a neat little perk to the trees coming down. I played this golf course when the trees were there, and it's obviously still very difficult, and it's going to continue to be difficult, continue to be a great test of golf. And I would assume they would get a major championship here by the end of the decade, probably a U.S. Open sometime in 28, 29, or 30.
Tony, I love it. That's the hope. All right, well, let's hear from our good friend. We talked with him earlier, Mike Tirico, of course, NBC Sports, one of the great broadcasters. Never get a lot of nice things to say about this course, but also the redesign as well.
My phone's gonna die.
All right, we love you, Tony. Thanks for the Toad Squatch as always.
Right.
Here is my man, Mike Tirico. Daily Chair in Oakland Hills with the legendary Mike Tirico. That's the truth, Mike.
Good to see you.
It's great to see you too. Of course, NBC Sports, and just one of the great broadcasters that I've ever known and we've all ever known. Mike, it's good to see you. This is a beautiful reason to be here in Oakland Hills.
It's amazing. I had a little sneak peek at what they've done to the South Course, and it's so cool. This golf course is terrific in so many ways. But we've all seen, watch the PGA Championship, watch the PGA Tour playoffs. We know what the game is going to now. So there's this really sweet spot that you have to find of modernizing the classics. And I think that's what Gil Hanse is doing here. And I think Oakland Hills is going to have another generation of great golf championships because of what the membership here is invested in, and the guy they picked to, Gil Hanse, is a home run, I think.
Absolutely. And listen, there's so many people, and we're big golf guys that love the history here, love the Donald Ross design, and we'll get into how that might, be. It's a new era, so things can change and still be, honor the past. But everyone asks, all right, why does Oakland Hills not have another U.S. Open? This place deserves one. It sure seems like obviously that was the idea, but it looks like that's going to be what ends up happening.
You would hope that there's some significant championship down the line here somewhere. Having worked with all the governing bodies, and especially the PGA of America and the USGA and the PGA Tour, that they get involved with groups and various things start to happen, and then you try to take events to certain places. You try to have a cause that you follow. And when you start adding it up, sometimes you run out of events because it's only once a year.
Right.
So it's hard to stay in these rotations year in, year out. But if I were an organizing body at any level, whether it's the Tour or the PGA of America or the USGA, I really want to take a look at the Midwest. This is such a rich golf. We all know, Dan, you know really well.
It doesn't get much better.
Think of Northern Michigan. Think of those.
It's just there.
Think of those golf trips up north that people take. There are so many good golf courses. You can be up north for a month and play a different course every day and play a good golf course. And those are only open for 3-4 months a year, let alone all the good ones we have down this way, like Barton Hills and Meadowbrook. There are so many good golf courses, but there's nothing like Oakland Hills. So this area is rich in golf fans. It's rich in golf courses. It's rich in golf tradition. So it deserves to have golf's biggest events. And I think what they've decided to do here will help that happen for the next few years coming down the line.
And that's beautifully said, Mike. And to the last point about, this is a course that has been around for a long time, so much history. Mm-hmm. And when you redesign something that's classic, some might say, all right, well, be careful with that. But it's all about looking towards the future, isn't it? You can still have that root in history, but have something special as well.
Well, that's it. That's why you don't just pick a person to do it. You find the right guy.
Right.
And, just look at the legacy and the track record. Gil Hanse is the right guy. He's done this in so many places. We're going to see it on display at Wingfoot here next week. And we're going to see it at the Country Club for a future U.S. Open. You've seen it at other golf courses around the country. The Olympic course in Rio.
Right.
So you have somebody who understands the history of architecture, has made a name. And now I'm not trying to make a name by changing the feel of a classic. It's trying to continue its relevance in the sports world. And I think Gil's the perfect person to do that. And I think that's what, if I had to describe seeing the plans and seeing a little bit of what they're doing, they're keeping the essence and the core of the golf course, yet making sure that it still tests and identifies the greatest champions in the world. And that's an important thing for the legacy of a club and the legacy of a golf course. And at the same time, make sure that the members can still enjoy it.
Of course.
That's a hard sweet spot.
That is.
And we all know if we've been in any place where they're doing golf renovations, it's always a concern. And I think this is the right guy to do it.
Last one for you. We know it's been a crazy year. By the way, it's so great to see you. Keep up the great work. You're incredible for so many of us. Are the Lions going to win a Super Bowl? I mean, it's of all years, Mike. I think it looks like the NFL is going to go and it's going to be okay. But would this be the year that the cursed, sad sack Lions finally get it done?
I hadn't thought of it that way. That's pretty funny. I tell people all the time who aren't from here, I said, look, it's hockey town, right? Okay. When the Tigers are terrific, that old English D from Tom Selleck to everything else, you see it all the time. I love the fact you see like rappers, NBA players, Major League Baseball players wear the old English D. It says it all about the legacy of the franchise, right? We know what Detroit basketball was like. That was such a fun run for people. They caught on to the basketball spirit and vibe of St. Cecilia's to everything else in Detroit, right? But I tell people, given all that, if the Lions won, you think the Eagles parade was great in Philadelphia? That would be the greatest sports championship parade of all time.
4 million at Hart Plaza.
In the middle of winter, and they would care less. This city, it deserves it. The franchise would just connect in a great way, even a great playoff run, even a run to a championship game of some sort. I still think Matthew Stafford's a terrific quarterback. I love the running back collection they have. I think they're a good wide receivers. If Hawkinson's ankle's healthy, you got something there. Offensive line built to run a little bit. I believe in Matt Patricia as a defensive coach. I think he's going to find the answer. I think he's got the right big bodies to free up linebackers. Okuda at corner. There are the pieces there. Now we've said this a few years. I think the pieces there. I think this division is winnable. I don't like what the Packers did, and they didn't find enough support for my guy Aaron. The Bears are trying to bounce back from last year. Minnesota window may be closer to shutting, but it's really Minnesota's good. But in this crazy year, it's going to be on the run. If they can get off to a good start, good things can happen.
Mike, nothing but the best, man. Thanks so much.
Stay well, my pleasure.
Beautiful day here, right?
None better.
Nothing but the best, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, Mike Tirico, the best. There he is. Always great to get some Lions action going with Mike Tirico as well. Football, NFL, at least are going to go in the next few weeks. It looks like college football will not, but a great day here at Oakland Hills. And it's one of these things where, as I mentioned, we know the history of this course. We know the majors and the Ryder Cups that it has hosted. But now it's about moving towards the future. And you got a guy in Gil Hance, redesigned TBC Boston, as Los Angeles Country Club, so many different courses that he's been involved in, the either original design, redesign, or restoration. And this is a guy, as you've heard Mike and Steve Brady said it earlier, the head pro here, no ego. And he came in here with the right idea of making this course the best it can be for not just, obviously hosting majors and Ryder Cups and events like that, but for the members as well. And here he is. I talked with Gil Hance a little earlier today. Daily Cheer Live, Oakland Hills, South Course Restoration Media Day, and I'm with legendary course designer Gil Hance, who's in charge of this beauty. Gil, you talked a lot at the press conference about what went into this, what your vision is, and the bottom line is now, what can the average fan that hopefully is going to see another major here, or of course the members and people that come play as guests, what can they expect on what you're doing right now?
Well, I think what we're really focused on is trying to restore the scale of the property here. The bunkers are bigger, the landscape is more open. These big rolling Donald Ross greens are now sitting in their landscape a little bit cleaner. So I think it was just an appreciation for the scale, what Ross had created. But the challenge, the beauty of this golf course has always been in its greens. And I think now with them expanded back out to original contours, created some new hole locations. You'll be able to see some hole locations, pins in places that you had never seen them before. And all the infrastructure underneath, proper drainage, infrastructure under the greens, I think will be all presented.
You talked about that precision, draining system. Let everyone know a little bit about that.
So Precision Air is a system that's been put underneath the greens, and it basically can pull moisture out of the greens with vacuum mode. It can push air into the greens in when it's blowing mode just to help with soil. But it can also push cool air under the greens and hot air under the greens. So in the shoulder seasons, early spring, late fall, it can warm the greens up. In the summertime, it can cool the soil temperatures down, promotes deep root growth. Deep root growth equals healthy greens.
Now, we all know this is a historic course. You feel the history when you're here. I've been lucky enough to play this course a bunch of times. But, when you do a redesign or do a restoration, people are going to wonder, can you still reach back and keep that classic history, but also move to the future? And that seems like exactly from what you've talked about, what you're trying to do. How do you keep the history rooted in the greatness of this course, but also move forward to make it playable for the modern day player?
Well, I think what we've tried to do is move bunkers downrange, put them in the 340 to 320 to 340 range for today's modern players. And if the land allows you to do, if there's a nice roll there, we can move the bunker down, even though that's not where Ross put it. But if he had a bunker on the left side, we'd feel free to put one in on the left. We've grabbed some yardage on the tees. We've moved the golf course back a little bit. And so I think it's the combination of those things, narrowing the fairways a little bit where the tour players hit it versus keeping them wider for where the members play the golf course, will hopefully put us in that sweet spot of where we make it challenging for the best players in the world and yet playable for the members.
And of course, that you talked about the sweet spot, and we all know that one of the main things that this course has loved throughout its history is hosting majors, hosting Ryder Cups. We know that obviously it's not everything, but it's the main goal here. How confident are you feeling about this as you've talked about, whether it's the PGA, the USGA, coming out here when this thing opens and knowing this is special?
Well, I think it's been discussed a lot today about the history of it. So they know they've got the tradition,
Right.
and we're hopeful that the golf course that they see is something that they're going to love. They're going to understand that they've got the room to conduct a major championship, because it takes a lot of room,
Sure.
space to do it, but that ultimately inside the ropes, we've gotten the most we can out of this property.
As a course designer, when this course opens the first day, you get to hit you play the first round, right?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure about that. Those are always the most nervous moments for anybody. You stand there, all these people watching you, trying to just get it airborne.
Sure. Gil, I appreciate it, and we can obviously there's ways to go here, but you can already see that this is a very special redesign you're doing. So appreciate the time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Here he is, Gil Hanse. And yes, fine friends, and you got the great Toad Squatch behind me. What Gil's idea and kind of mission was, and belief that he could come out here and keep the history of this place, but also move it forward. You can see, obviously, he's hearing from him, and look out here. I'll show you a little bit of the live view here with beautiful Tony Paul in the background. I mean, Tony, just looking at this, you can see it's got a ways to go, but it's going to be special.
Well, it's Oakland Hills. It's always good.
Yeah, it's just I can people that have been on these walking tours, some members that I've talked to, and I know that a friend of mine that as a friend of a member's came on one of the walking tours. They've been blown away. And remember, obviously, you want to get majors. That's a key. But it's about the members too. I mean, this is a country club. This is a place, where you have a membership that spends a lot of money to be here. But of course, for the golf fan and the average person watching right now, it's about seeing a Tiger Woods come back here for a U.S. Open. It's about seeing Colin Morikawa, come here and win a major, a Ryder Cup again, a PGA Championship, whatever it may be. And I can tell you, I don't have any inside information. My inside information is behind me, Tony Paul. I think there's going to be a major. There's going to be a major here, and it's not going to be as far in the distance as some might think. I think that they brought the right guy in Gil Hanse, who has a proven track record to, restore this course, do the redesign. I should consider a restoration. And this is a great, historic place that deserves to host majors. It's been kind of ridiculous. We haven't had one since 2006. And I'm hoping that we find out in the next couple of years that there will be another major here, and it's on the books. And we know going from there, we can have some great golf here at Oakland Hills. But a great day here. Reed, Tony, and some other media members about to hack it up on the North Course. So we'll give you some updates on that. But big thanks to Mike Tirico, the legend, Gil Hanse, one of the great course designers out there. Of course, Steve Brady, the head professional, Pete Kowalski, who put this all together. And, of course, you for watching. Much more to come on the task force in the next several weeks, but a great day out here at Oakland Hills. Until next time, wash your hands, spread love, not hate, believe in the dream. Dan Leach, for all my fine peeps, saying thanks so much.